Hello my peeps. This Algebra Nation video will cover the left side of page 79. We'll do problems 2 and 3.
Right, in this problem we're going to look at a polar bear problem. Alright, check this out. Polar bears are listed as a threatened species. In 2005, there were about 30,000 polar bears in the world. Okay, that sounds important. 30,000 polar bears in the world. If the number of polar bears declines by 1,500 each year, write an equation representing the number of polar bears left on Earth, y, after x years. All right, based on this equation, in what year are the polar bears expected to be extinct? Oh, that's a really sad math problem. All right, let's try to be done with this because it's going to make me sad. All right, so 2005, there were about 30,000 polar bears left in the world. If the number of polar bears declines by 1,500 each year. So declines by 1,500 each year. That sounds pretty important, so I'm going to circle that. Write an equation representing the number of polar bears left on Earth. Okay, so let's check this out. So think about this for a second. In the beginning, there were 30,000 polar bears in the world. So that's where I'm starting from. That's where I begin. All right, so there are 30,000 polar bears to begin with. All right, but what's happening? Each year, every single year, the number of polar bears are declining. Now, declining sounds like it's subtracting, right? Declining means it's decreasing. There's fewer and fewer polar bears. So I have to subtract. From the starting number, I'm subtracting 1,500, 1,500 polar bears every single year. Now, what am I supposed to use to represent every single year, each year? Well, it's saying X is years. X is years. So every single year means times the number of years, or times X. So I'm going to put times X. Well, what does this equation represent? It represents the polar bears that are left on Earth. And what variable do we want for that? We want y. So y equals 30,000 minus 1,500x. In other words, y are the number of polar bears left. This is what we started with, 30,000 bears in 2005, and every year after that, they're declining. There's 1,500 fewer polar bears every single year. That's what it's trying to tell us. Now, does it matter that it was the year 2005 versus the year 2007 versus 1999? No. They're just giving that as sort of extra information. All right? So here we go. We have our equation. That's it. All right. So if you have any questions on this problem or any other problem, post it on the wall below. See you next time.
Ready for a brain break? Too bad if you're not. Take one anyways. This is what you have to do on the EOC in May. You gotta drive and take it to the hoop, baby. The only thing better would have been them slamming on the Miami Heat. Props to Kevin Durant and OKC, baby. Oh yeah, that's worth $3.99 or more. All right, back to work. Focus. All right, problem number 3. By the way, I have to say, as a teacher, sometimes you come across problems that are just really bad problems. They're poorly written, and they should never be there in the first place. This is one of those problems. It is a horrible, deplorable problem. Probably one of the worst problems I've seen Algebra Nation use. Here goes.
All right. In this problem, we're going to look at LeBron James and Dwayne Wade. Who are those people? I don't even know. Just kidding. All right. LeBron James and Dwayne Wade are best friends. They decide to walk out of the Miami Heat's basketball arena side by side. LeBron walks in a line represented by the equation 2x plus 2y is equal to 3. If Dwayne Wade walks through the point 0, 6, what is the equation of the line that represents Dwayne's parallel path? Write your answer in standard form. Ooh, okay. Let's look at the important information. So we know that LeBron walks in a path, in a line that's represented by this equation. All right, that sounds okay. Now, Dwayne Wade walks through the path, through the point 0, 6. So that's a point. So I want Dwayne's parallel path. Parallel path. So in other words, so we have LeBron, and this is Dwayne Wade, and they're walking in parallel paths. So that means their paths never cross. So let's say they're walking in parallel paths, something like this, right? I don't know which way they're walking. I'm just saying they're parallel, right? They're never crossing. They're walking side by side because they're besties. Besties. All right. Now, I want to find Dwayne's path. All right. What do I know about Dwayne? Okay, he's walking through. He crosses through 0, 6, and it's parallel to LeBron. His path is 2x plus 2y equals 3. All right. That's fine. We could do that. So what we know about parallel lines is that parallel lines have the same slope. So first thing I need to find is what's LeBron's slope? What's his rate of change? So LeBron. All right. Remember, slope is m. Right? So I'm going to call m1 for LeBron. Right? Or you could put even m with a little l so you know that's LeBron. Either way, it doesn't matter. All right? So I have 2x plus 2y equals 3. All right, you might know a handy-dandy formula for finding the slope easily. I'm going to actually solve it out, all right? So I have to get y by itself. So I'm going to subtract 2x on both sides of the equal sign. 2x minus 2x is 0. 2y is left. Is equal to 3 minus 2x. Interesting. Stay with me. I have to get y by itself, so I have to divide by 2. If I divide by 2 on one side, I have to divide everything by 2 on the other side. So this gets divided by 2, and this gets divided by 2. All right? So the 2's cancel out. Y equals 3 over 2. Negative 2 divided by 2. Let's see if I could simplify that. 3 over 2 I can't simplify, right? But negative 2 divided by 2 is just negative 1x, or just negative x. You can put the 1 if you want, right? Negative 1x. Now, looking at this equation, y equals 3 over 2 minus 1x. Can you find the slope? Remember, for slope-intercept form, it looks like this. The slope, the y is already by itself, check. And the slope is always, what do you notice about the slope? It's always next to the x. They're like a pair. They're besties. All right? They're always next to each other. So which number is next to the x? Negative 1, right? So negative 1 is my slope. Does it matter that's switched out of order? Nope. You just have to be really careful. It's always the number next to the x. In math words, in math terms, it's always the coefficient of x. All right? So the slope, LeBron's slope, is negative 1. So I know that that means Dwayne's slope has to also be negative 1, right? Because they're parallel paths, they're parallel lines. Parallel lines have the same slope. So Dwayne's slope is also negative 1 then, because they're parallel. What else do I know about Dwayne? Besides, he's a really good basketball player. He passes through the point 0, 6. So I'm going to put the slope is negative 1, and he passes through the point 0, 6. I have a point, I have a slope. That sounds like it's time for the point-slope form, right? Point-slope form. All right, I have a point, I have a slope. All right, let's check this out. I have y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. This is x1, this is y1. Remember labeling my points. Y minus y1 is 6. M is negative 1 times x minus 0, because x is 0. x1 is 0. Let's try to simplify this as much as I can. Y minus 6 is equal to negative 1 times x is negative 1x. Negative 1 times 0, or negative 0, is just 0. So it's nothing. Y minus 6 equals negative 1x plus 0 is just negative 1x. All right, so I have this now, but remember, they said they want it in standard form. Standard form, if you remember, write this down on the side. Standard form is ax plus by equals c, right? It just means the x and the y's are on one side of the equation, and c is on the other side. So let's do that. Let's get x and y on the same side. So right now, x is on one side, y is on the other side. The constant, the number that has no variable next to it, that has no letters next to it, that's on the wrong side too, right? That's on the left. It should be on the right. So let's move it on the right. The opposite of minus 6 is adding 6. I'm going to add 6 on both sides to get it on this side. Negative 6 plus 6 is 0. Cancel it out just like we wanted to. Y equals negative 1x plus 6. Now, I want the negative 1x on this side. I have to get rid of it from this right side. So I'm going to do the opposite. The opposite of minus 1x. Let's add 1x. Whatever I do on one side, got to do on the other. All right. I have 1x, or just 1x plus y, because that's a positive y, is equal to negative 1x plus 1x cancels out, is equal to 6. I could leave it as 1x plus y equals 6, but if this were a multiple choice test, for example, and they said find the correct standard form, you might not see that because that's an invisible 1. It's a coefficient of 1. You don't have to write that. It could just be 1x plus 1y equals 6. And here we go. That is Dwayne Wade's path. All right, that's it. We just found the equation of a parallel line. When you're giving an equation of a line and a new point, you can find the parallel line that goes through that point.
Personally, I think they should have written the problem. Dwayne Wade and LeBron James walk out of the Miami Arena, and they keep on walking right into either Biscayne Bay, or they keep walking right into Atlantic Ocean, never to return to Miami Arena again. Goodbye.